What's up guys, Ken from 86 Speed here, and today is a special day because we are finally installing the HKS GT3RS Turbo Kit on our GR86. Now in this video, we are going to show you guys the full installation process and some tips to installing this Turbo Kit on the 86. Now as a disclaimer, I do want to say that the installation for a BRZ and GR86 is slightly different, so please keep that in mind. But either way, it's basically still the same process. If you guys have any questions with installing your GT3RS Turbo Kit on your GR86 or BRZ, please do not hesitate to email us or DM us on Instagram. And if you're watching this because you're thinking about getting a turbo kit for your 86, we could also help with that. We've helped with a couple installs for customers here locally in Las Vegas, and we ship worldwide. So if you want to kit yourself, check out our website. I'll have a link down in the description below, as well as the installation manual PDF in the description. So yeah guys, with that being said, here's the full installation guide for your HKS GT3RS Turbo Kit for your 86.
Okay, so here are all the tools that you will need for this install. You'll need a basic tool set. Power tools are recommended but not required. Gloves, as you will be working with HKS provided heat insulation, an oil change kit, open wrench kit, spray paint, O2 sensor socket, an angle grinder, and someone who can weld.
This kit requires you to weld in an oil drain to the oil pan. In the installation manual, they require you to weld it in a specific spot and angle, so make sure you do not mess this part up. Once it's welded, we went ahead and spray painted both sides to make it a little bit prettier.
Next, go ahead and remove your intake. You have three 10mm bolts, one here, one down here, and an 8mm holding in the intake tube. Next, what we're gonna do is remove the front bumper, obviously to get to the crash bar. With this kit, also keep in mind that we are also gonna be removing the headlights, the crash bar, and the washer tank. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and remove this bracket holding the horn and the ambient air temperature sensor. What I like to do to not lose the bolts, I just screw them back into place, just so when I come back in the future, I know exactly where the bolts are. All right, once you've removed the hood latch, now next you gotta remove the whole radiator support. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12mm bolts to take this out.
Next up, go ahead and remove the belt as well as the belt covers on the alternator and AC pump.
All right, so we just took everything off of the front of the vehicle and we took everything out of the engine bay that was necessary. Up next, we rose the car, and now we're gonna be taking off this under panel, the exhaust manifold, and the oil pan.
Once you get the lower panels off, now you have to unbolt the front pipe and over pipe. And to do that, you'll have to remove this brace to get to the over pipe front pipe bolts. Next up, we're gonna have to install some insulation on the lower radiator hose. And also in the kit, HKS does provide you two different type insulation pieces. You'll get one small one and one big one. The smaller insulation piece goes onto the header and the larger one goes on the downpipe. Next up, you have to install the studs on the manifold. And to do that, we used two nuts to make sure it was properly tightened because you do not want these studs to back out. Next up, install the exhaust manifold and leave the bolts snug. This allows it to have a little bit of movement so you can adjust it from the top. Lower the car back down and now you can bolt the exhaust manifold to the bracket that bolts up to the idler pulleys. This allows less weight on the exhaust studs. Once you install the bracket, make sure to test fit the turbo and make sure it doesn't make any contact to the bracket. Next, install the turbo and properly tighten the manifold to the engine block and overpipe bracket.
Next up, install the O2 sensors accordingly. Install the necessary heat insulation around the wiring and dipstick. Next, install the downpipe and make sure everything is tightened on the bottom and put the bracket back. Next, drive a drain pan and you will need to remove the coolant lines from the water-to-water oil cooler. This is so we can reroute the hoses to the turbo. Remove the AC compressor and rotate these two clamps to the side to prevent any damage to the hoses, as they will sit on top of them. Next, cut the hose necessary to the length and connect the coolant feeds. Double check your connections to the turbo for oil and coolant, then install the intake. Then installed the crash bar and the intercooler along with the piping. We did have to trim the plastic for the intercooler for better fitment. From there, we installed the rest of the piping. Now your GR86 is ready for its first start. Check for anything leaking or smoking, as the turbo might generate some smoke.
Hell yeah, that sounds good.
From there, you can talk to your tuner to get the tune revised to perfection.
Okay guys, so we just got done with the install for the GR86, and I gotta say guys, I'm absolutely stoked with how this turned out. The car makes absolutely insane sounds with the turbo and with the turbo flutter. We just got done revising our tune with our tuner Delicious Tuning, and I gotta say guys, the car absolutely rips. I cannot wait to show you guys how this car handles and performs, but that's for a different video, as this video was just for the install and whatnot. And if you have any questions with installing your turbo kit for your GR86, please DM us or email us at support@86b.com and we'll be happy to help. And with that guys, we'll see you in the next one.